Hey, what's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Just My Opinion. Thank you so much for tuning in. I do appreciate it. And guys, this is my breakdown, my recap for the Mike Tyson Hulu series, episode 1. This one is titled Thief. From the perspective of his one-man show, Mike Tyson asked the question, "Who am I?" as he reflects on his childhood in Brownsville, New York, where he already has 37 arrests on his record by the time he is just 13. And to be honest with you, I have been following Mike Tyson my entire life. I'm not saying that I'm an expert, but I've been familiar with the man since I was a child. I did see all of his fights. I did see all the controversy in the news, entertainment, etc. And with this show, I'm already learning things that I did not know before. I want to let you know that this is going to be a spoiler-filled recap. I'm going to spoil this up, down, left, right, in, and out. As if you've already seen episode 1, you have been warned. And if you happen to like the video, please go ahead and give me that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, helping me reach my next milestone of 50,000 subscribers. And before we get into this recap of episode 1, I will be doing this for each episode. But I did on my channel review the first 5 episodes. Hulu/Disney was nice enough to bless me with the first 5 episodes. And so I do have that review right there on my channel if you guys want to go check that out after you watch this. That does contain no spoilers, while this recap will contain spoilers. Now, I also got to be honest with you some more, guys. Sometimes content creators, YouTubers, critics, pundits, however you want to describe them, they make mistakes. And I think I may have made a mistake here with this show. Now, I will go ahead and say this. I gave the first 5 episodes about a 7 out of 10. And in that review, I stated that I really wasn't feeling the first 3 episodes, that I struggled with it. And at the end of episode 3, I was not that enthusiastic to continue covering the show. But episodes 4 and 5 were much stronger, and the show does get better as it progresses along. But after rewatching episode 1 again, I have to say, I think I was wrong. Episode 1 was actually quite good. A lot of the things that bothered me the first time I watched it didn't bother me the second time around. And this is the second time that this has happened to me recently. Same thing that happened with She-Hulk on Disney Plus. I watched it the first time, I really wasn't feeling it, but the second time I ended up loving it. And so let's go ahead and get into this and see if I'm loving episode 1 as well. But I will say this. It does just start off sad, this first episode, as Mike Tyson showing him as a child. And the childhood actor did do a great job. Now, one of the criticisms I'll go ahead and get out of the way is that Mike Tyson, is doing this one-man show in Indiana, April of 2017. And still, I am just not the biggest fan of this way of storytelling. It's not as bad as I thought it was initially, but I don't know, for some reason, combining this right here with the breaking of the fourth wall and the narrating is just not coming across as smooth as I would like it. But, you know, again, I mean, if this happened in real life, I can't get mad at them for trying to recreate this right here. I also did find it interesting that we're starting off with him as a child right here, and he's being picked on and he's being bullied by everyone. This woman or a little girl is saying, hey, you have to fight. And if you can't fight, you need to run. And then she proceeds on saying that you're a fat fuck and that you're stupid. Well, I don't know about you, but this character right here is not fat. I just kind of wish they would have used a actual fat boy for more visual representation. That may not be a big deal to you, but then he proceeds to go on and says that I was a weird kid. I used to talk out loud, and my mother sent me to the doctor and he said I was retarded. They did not show that at all. They just told us. And I don't know. I mean, that is a criticism I had the first time I saw this episode, and I still feel the same way. But here he is right here. And it just goes to show, like, the opinion of your parents or those that you love or that you seek love at a young age, if they don't believe in you, if they doubt you, if they mistreat you, if they harm you, that does have lifelong repercussions subconsciously. And right here, this was crazy. He said, I saw him kill any dream she had for me. And he proceeded to say, and she didn't believe in me at all after that. So he was like, hey, I'm just going to be a little fat fuck with the lisp and continue to get beat on every day. And I'm just like, damn, that really sucks. And that just kind of shows how he was molded at a young age and how it just shaped him over his life, you know, up to how he ended up being. And I can kind of understand where he's coming from now. What's also interesting is there are a couple of articles out here just saying that this Hulu series is trying to humanize Mike Tyson, perceiving him as a monster. Some people agree with that, some people don't. And I do like all the reenactment scenes that we did get in this first episode as well. Like, it was a number of years ago where he was being interviewed by another black man, and he was like, so talking about sports, so you rape, and Mike was like, oh, you're a piece of shit, and that is in this first episode too. And I like that. I like that a lot. But he just continues to get beat up. And, you know, that's why he doesn't feel like he's worth a damn. And so that's just really sad. And no child should, you know, go through that. And then here, not only is he getting beat up, he sees that his mother is getting beat up as well. But one good thing is this. She was honest with him saying, hey, we don't have nowhere to go. But that does not mean that we have to take his shit. Would you like some soup, Eddie? This just kind of reminded me of the grits upside the head and one of the latest Tyler Perry movies, but that trope has been a while for some time now, so it's not necessarily, oh, it's just a rehash and I'm having some fun right here. So at least he does get to see his mom fight back somehow, and I do like that. And that's possibly how things ended up with him on the roof when this dude here killed his bird. That's just evil right there. I mean, like, why would you do this to a child? He was just treated like crap, you know, through his whole youth. And it just, I mean, later on, well, I don't want to spoil anything because that's getting into further episodes, but I feel sorry for Mike. I never knew his upbringing. I never knew his life as a child, but I really feel sorry for him. And this things, all the stuff that he had to go through, because this is just cruel. This man ain't bothering nobody or this little boy. And then you just want to rip a bird's head. I mean, like, and what is wrong with this child right here? I mean, that's just disgusting. I mean, kids do mean stuff, but man, you just gonna, this is not an insect. This is an animal. And you just gonna rip the head off? Rightfully so, man. Mike proceeded to beat his ass, and that's where he said things changed for him. And I like this because going into this series, I wanted to know things about Mike Tyson's life that I did not know before, and I'm getting all that right now. And I just feel sorry for him too. You know, his mom, they got kicked out. The man, he said that she has a horrible taste in men, and he stole all the money. And there's poor, dirt poor, and fucked up poor, I believe it said. Yeah, and there's fucked up poor. And they was at the bottom, and it was just a trap to get out of that. Just moving from abandoned buildings to abandoned buildings, and each time it gets worse and worse. And I'm pretty sure she was doing some type of sexual favor for some man. And yeah, I mean, that's just horrible. You see your mom getting beat on, you're seeing your mom doing sexual acts, living on the street, moving from abandoned building to abandoned building. You know, you don't know your father. You know, you do know that your mother used to, I think he said she was a nurse in the army or you know, she served and she saw prisoners and that scared her and she wanted to scare a child. But all this that Mike had to go through, just seeing birds getting ripped off his head. Now, at the beginning of this, they did say that while this is inspired by true events, a lot of the characters, incidents, and dialogues have been dramatized. So I don't know if a bird's head was actually ripped off in front of him that kind of just, you know, lit that trigger inside of him, making him go Super Saiyan. But, you know, I don't know. I mean, I don't remember if Mike ever did some type of interview that's like, yeah, there was a boy that ripped a head off a bird and it was my favorite bird. And, you know, the DMX song in my head came on and I just went to work or whatever. I'm glad that we did, you know, he did get some justice. He did get some payback. And like you said, things changed. And while this show does not focus on the fights too much, I like how they spliced this fight right here while he is beating up this little boy. And this is horrible. He just turns into a thief. He's only, you know, 8 or 12 years old. I'm just going to say he was 10, taking revenge on anybody that he knew. And then look at him. And I got to say, this little boy is doing a fantastic job as well as the little Mike. I mean, doing a great job. So kudos right there. But this is horrible right here. Running down the street. And the cop did not have to shoot them. I mean, seeing his friend head get blown off right in front of him, yeah, that's going to F up anybody. I mean, it is. This little man just has no direction. And I'm not even going to demonize him. I think anybody, any race, anybody in the entire world, if they was exposed to all this, they would, you know, be pretty effed up in the head too. And so you just never want to judge a book by its cover. You know what I'm saying? But I want to know from y'all, how did y'all feel about the mother? How did y'all feel about her? I liked her performance. I think she did a great job. Let me go ahead and pull this sister up right here. I am not too familiar with her work. Olunike Adelie. Olunike Adelie. Okay. She is from Toronto, and I have never seen any of these before. 71 credits, but I liked her. She had the strongest performance in this first episode. to me. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comment section. But she's just doing the best that she can. And unfortunately, it's not working out. Mike is trying to, oh, I didn't do it. I didn't steal the stuff. And, he really did when he went outside. I also love Harvey Keitel as Cus D'Amato. Great job, great actor. I love all of that. Mike is just being known as, hey, I can whoop anybody. I want to fight anybody. And that's just how he started creating a reputation for himself. But unfortunately, he did end up going to juvie, and this right here was what I was talking about earlier. I remember seeing this online just a number of years ago, and Mike Tyson ripped him to shreds. That was pretty shady for him to do that. And like I said, I like how they're putting this in, splicing it in, editing it in. It's great. They could use the real life footage, but no, they wanted to reenact this, and I think that's a great job right there. I think that's the best choice. And this right here was sad to me, because this is all Mike wants. He just wants to be loved. And he said that multiple times in episode 1. Also in future episodes too. And I feel bad for him. I mean, I really do. I really do. And his mom was doing the best she can, just beating the hell out of him. And I found it interesting that they said my mom beat me so much that the cops didn't even want to charge me no more. I'm just like, what do you do? What do you do in that situation? And if you do have a youth and you had to go through this with your child, your son or daughter, please let me know in the comment section as well. I want to know if anybody can relate to this in any form. But this, they tried to turn this into a comedic moment right here where he ran into his friends in juvie, but I damn near cried in frustration when I saw this. And more than half of it is not their fault, but it just sucks that they're like embracing this. Like, yeah, hey, life doesn't matter, And his mom was just trying to instill so much into him. When she called him out for stealing the neighbor's stuff at the store at the bodega, and she was comparing Mike to his siblings, which is something you shouldn't do. But he's like, hey, studies doesn't do anything. That's not good for us in the streets right here. That won't help. And he proceeded to say that, hey, my brother ended up being a surgeon. And so, and this is the path that Mike is on right now. And it's just kind of upsetting. It broke my heart, to be honest with you. But this right here is BJ Minor. And I was not a fan of his performance the first time around. And I have to say, after watching it the second time around, I think he did a great job, especially just showing how desperate he is for love and attention. He meets the gentleman right here, Bobby Stewart, trying to train him. And when they go outside, he's like, hey, please, I'll do anything. And you just, Mike Tyson just comes across as just like a savage beast, strong, monster to some people. I don't consider him that way, but to see him being so innocent right here and soft, it's just really interesting. And I think BJ Minor did a great job bringing that to the screen. So I have to take back my criticism as well. And so he started to apply himself, got on the honor roll, and that's what's up right there. Just believing in himself, he was able to turn things around and do great things. So he started training with Mr. Bobby Stewart. I love it. And he's good at it too. Hey, call my mom. And he just feels so abandoned right here. What I do? No, bro, I'm trying to get you promoted. You did a good thing. Don't worry, relax. And, history is from there. Start meeting with Cus. And I like it. I like it a lot. I really do. They did a great job with this first episode right here. First time seeing roses, that's crazy. And so, yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think about this, man. It's just, this episode, right, it really did paint a good picture of how he got started with boxing and also just all the trauma that he had to go through as a child. Everybody's cut from a different cloth. Everybody has to go through things, some worse than others, and life is not fair. And that is the Mike Tyson story. Even though some of this may have been dramatized, I think for the most part it is true. It is unfortunate that Mike Tyson does not support this show. They did not want to pay the man. But I don't know all the legal ins and outs to, warrant if that's valid or not. But, I'm still Team Mike over here. And so, guys, that is just my opinion. And I want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you did enjoy this video, please go ahead and give me the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, helping me reach my next milestone of 50,000 subscribers. And again, on my channel, guys, I do have my full 1 through 5 non-spoiler review for the series. Please go ahead and click right here so you can check out my other videos like my episode 2 recap as well. But guys, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.